ಪೊಗುವರಾಸ ಕ್ರೀಡೆಯಾಡುವ ಬಾರು ಸಖಿ ಪೊಗುವರಾಸ ಕ್ರೀಡೆಯಾಡುವ ಬಾರು ಸಖಿ ಪೊಗುವರಾಸ ಕ್ರೀಡೆಯಾಡುವ ಸಾರಸಕ್ಷ ಕೃಷ್ಣನನ್ನ ಕೊಲನೂದುವ ಸಾರಸಕ್ಷ ಕೃಷ್ಣನಿಂದ ಕೊರಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ஜாரணிந்து சதன மதன நாடடாயிடு சோரணிந்து பலதூறு மதிதாயிடு 3 நிமிஷ அவன மறையலாகதாயிடு வீர திருவமோக ஜால சடலாயிடு ಬಾರು ಸಖಿ ಭಗುವರಾಸ ಕ್ರೀಡೆಯಾಡುವ ಸಾರಸಕ್ಷ ಕೃಷ್ಣನುದ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಯಾವನೀದನೆಂದು ಸಿಂಧೆ ಮಾದಿತಾಯಿದು ಕೋವಲನವಿಲ್ಲು ನಿಂದು ನಿರ್ಧರಾಯಿದು ಯಾವನದರೇನು ಯವನ ಕ್ಷಣವ ಕಾಣದೆ ಜೀವನ ಕಲಿಯಾಯಿದು ದೋಡ ಪರವಾಯಿಡು ಬಾರು ಸಖಿ ಭಗುವರಸ ಕ್ರೀಡೆಯಾಡುವ ತಾರಸಕ್ಷ ಕೃಷ್ಣನುತ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಮಂದಹಾಸಡಿಂದ ಸಗಳ ಜಗವ ಬೆಳಗುವ ಮಂದಹಾಸಡಿಂದ ಸಗಳ ಜಗವ ಬೆಳಗುವ ಚಂದ್ರನತ ಇವನ ನೋಡಿ ಪಗಳ ನಾಚುವ ಚಂದ್ರನತ ಇವನ ನೋಡಿ ಪಗಳ ನಾಚುವ ಸಾಂದ್ರವಾಯಿದಂದ ರಾಕ್ಷ ಮಧುರ ನಾಡದಿ ಮಂದ ಮಲಯ ಮಾರುದತ್ತ ತಲೆಯ ನಾಡುವ ಮಂದ ಮಲಯ ಮಾರುದತ್ತ ತಲೆಯ ನಾಡುವ ಬಾರು ಸಖಿ ಭಗುವರಸ ಕ್ರೀಡೆಯಾಡುವ ತಾರಸಕ್ಷ ಕೃಷ್ಣನುದ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ನಾದದ ಸುದೆ ಸಾಸುತರಳಿ ತೆಲುವ ವಂದಿಡೆ ಮಾಧವತ ಸುದಯ ರಸ ವನರೇಸು ವಂದಿಡೆ ಮದರ ಬಳ್ಳಿ ರಾಸ ಕ್ರೀಡ ತರುವ ಬಂದಿಡೆ ಬಾರು ಸಖಿ ಭಗುವರಸ ಕ್ರೀಡೆಯಾಡುವ ತಾರಸಕ್ಷ ಕೃಷ್ಣನುದ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ சகல லோகநாத நீதனென்று தெளியுது சகல உணர்வு விசுவதென்று மார்க்க ஒழியுது சகல நாத நீதென்று தெளியுது சகல உணர்வு பிசுவதென்று மார்க்க ஒழியுது லக்ஷ்மி முரளி ரூபத்தில் எழுது ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ ಇದು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ முரளி ரூபத்தில் ಹೇಳಿಡು பகுடி ஹரிது என்ன மன பிரசன்னவாயிது பகுடி ஹரிது என்ன மன பிரசன்னவாயிது ಬಾರು ಸಖಿ ಭಗುವರಸ ಕ್ರೀಡೆಯಾಡುವ ತಾರಸಕ್ಷ ಕೃಷ್ಣನುತ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುವ. Hare Krishna. Translation. The Kannada song Barosaki Poguvarasa is a devotional song. Tasara Bada. That means come friend, let's go. The lyrics are a conversational among gopis, that is female devotees, urging each other to go see Lord Krishna playing the flute and participating in the Rasa Leela, a divine dance. The song written by the poet Acharya Sri Vidya Prasanna Tirtharu expresses the deep longing and devotion of the gopis have for Krishna. Here is a breakdown of the meaning of key lines. Barosaki, Bhagava Rasa, Gridayadva, meaning come friend, let's go to play the Rasa dance. Tarasaksa Krishnada Kulalanuduva, meaning the lotus eyed Krishna is playing his flute. Jaranindu Sanna Madananayidu, Soranindu Bagaladuru Madhudadayidu, meaning we called him a womanizer. We complained about him being a thief. ಮೂರು ನಿಮಿಷ ಅವನು ಮರೆಯಲಾಗದಾಯಿದು. That is meaning, but we cannot forget him even for 3 minutes. ಸಕಲ ಲೋಗನಾದ ನೀದನಾಂದೆ ನೀದನೆಂದು ತಿಳಿ ಇದು, meaning we realized that he is the Lord of all the worlds. The song captures the gopis' transition from seeing Krishna as a mischievous boy to recognizing his divine nature and accepting him as a supreme being. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hari Bol. Thank you so much for such a wonderful kirtan. So we'll begin our class. Anyone would like to chant Mangala Charan? Hare Krishna.
Can do, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So nice. Dhanvat pranams. Thank you so much. Okay, all right. So we'll begin our class. So quick recap. What did we read yesterday? Anyone would like to share?
About Swamiji's fitness.
Fitness, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Okay.
During the last week of May, Swamiji began to feel exhausted. He spoke of heart palpitations, but hoping that the symptoms would clear up in a day or two. Kirtananda suggested Swamiji take rest, and she knows that. But his condition became worse.
Okay, Prabhuji. Just give me the synopsis, Prabhuji, of what else did we... So one was on the health condition. What else did we read?
He wanted his devotees to massage his heart to revive him.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Swamiji feared about the needle, so that he is not willing to go hospital. But they want to make EEG one time. And one nurse came with their needle, and Swamiji was feared, and his attender taken Swamiji to with the stretcher. He ran away from the hospital, and some inquiry happened, and that was ended up because doctor said Swamiji's health condition is very poor, and he may go to die. After that, somewhere Swamiji recuperated in the one room, and Swamiji recuperating from that room by doing massages on the Swamiji.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Haribol. Haribol, Prabhuji. Very nice. I heard you, Prabhuji. Sorry, I had some network issues, so I had to go off video. But I heard you. Very nice. Okay, so all this happened. And then what was the most important topic we covered yesterday? What exactly? Some big event happened, right? What was that?
Radha in the
Yeah.
new Jagannathapuri in the San Francisco city. And
Haribol.
they demanded one place, and police given permission to another place with the seashore. And whatever the deities made, and they made in the Radha Yatra cart, and they started pulling in the Radha Yatra, and the chanting was the main event. Chanting done by so many people, and chanting from front side and back side, two side, and center way Swamiji made chanting with the dancing, and Radha Yatra cart pulled by the deities, pulled by the devotees to that particular street, and near to the seaside, and they chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra with the Sankirtan happened throughout the Radha Yatra.
Very nice. Haribol, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for summarizing it so beautifully. So who were all going in the Rath Yatra? Who were the deities in the Rath Yatra? Hare Krishna, I would want all of
Jagannath,
you.
Baladeva, Subhadra.
Yes, Mataji, Haribol. And initially, what was the plan? They said all the deities were going together, right?
So Swamiji says usually they are taken in separate carts, but
Hmm.
and that is done in Jagannath. No, yeah, in Puri it is done that way. But you can all do that in future, he said,
Yes, very nice.
elaborately.
Very nice. And how did the Rath Yatra go? Was it successful?
Mataji, from Frederick Street to the beach side, they took it. Actually, they wanted to take it through the Golden Gate Park. They didn't get permission.
Hmm.
So, as Prabhupada wanted, they all prepared the carts in what is that truck something, and they decorated with flags, bells, flag garlands, four-pillared canopy. Yeah, as in Herd's rental truck. Yeah, as Prabhupada desired. Yeah.
Very
Then
nice.
yeah. Mm.
So what was the conclusion? How did we conclude yesterday? Where did we stop? Anyone remembers? Hare Krishna.
The prasadam distribution was there, and kirtana throughout, like a feast was there.
Yeah, feast.
Swamiji had many ideas for festivals. If we had the money and the manpower, he said he could have a festival
Yeah,
every day.
very nice.
He said the whole world was in anxiety. Only in the spiritual world was there freedom from anxiety.
Hari Bol.
Becoming free from all anxiety and returning to the spiritual world was the purpose of Krishna consciousness. And these festivals like Rath Yatra made people Krishna consciousness. And he said, as Prabhuji said, if he had the money and the manpower, he would conduct the festival every day. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Krishna consciousness is unlimited, right? That's what he said. Wonderful. So this is where we concluded yesterday. We will continue from that today. So whoever is interested to read, just raise your hands. I'll just share my screen meanwhile. Right, so this is where we concluded yesterday. Like Mataji clearly said, the whole world was in anxiety. Swamiji explained to devotees, and only in the spiritual world there was freedom from anxiety. Becoming free from all anxiety and returning to the spiritual world was the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Right, so beautifully explained. And the beauty of Rath Yatra festival is also clearly given here. It says Rath Yatra festival is another sign of the good reception for Krishna consciousness in the West. From nowhere, with no clue, he entered the West, landed in New York, he built an empire there, then came to San Francisco, built the new Jagannath temple like in Puri, and now on top of it, Rath Yatra is also happening, right? I'm sure it would have been like a dream come true moment for Srila Prabhupada. So, such magical events happen in such a short span only with the grace of Krishna. That's the power. Very nice. So we will continue from here. I see Muthumanikam Prabhuji's hand raised. Yes, Prabhuji, go ahead, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Swamiji still talked of going to India. He had virtually made up his mind to go. The question now was when and whether by the western route via Japan or the eastern route via New York. The grey skies and unseasonably cool temperatures of Stinson Beach were a disappointment. His health was still poor. He even spoke of dying. It didn't matter whether he died in America or Vrindavana. He said, if a Vaishnava dies in Vrindavana, the land where Krishna appeared, he is assured of joining Krishna in the spiritual world. Yet, when Lord Chaitanya had traveled outside Vrindavana, his devotees Advaita had assured him whether you are is Vrindavana. To be always observed in thinking of Krishna
Wherever,
was
uh, Prabhuji, just a
wherever
correction.
you are wherever you
When
are in Vrindavana. To be always observed in thinking of Krishna was also Vrindavana. So if he were to pass away while breaching Krishna consciousness anywhere in the world, certainly he would still attain to the eternal Vrindavana in the spiritual sky. Nevertheless, Swamiji wanted to go to Vrindavana. It was the best place to die or to recuperate. Besides, he had a plan for bringing his disciples to Vrindavana for training. Swamiji told Kirtananda, Hayagriva, and others that he would take them with him and show them the sacred place of Krishna's pastimes. With the New York Temple buildings fund, he would start his American house in Vrindavana. Most of the devotees had to remain in San Francisco, hoping for the chance to visit Swamiji. For the few who knew firsthand, they heard about Swamiji's plan to leave for India. perhaps never to return. It was painful to hear his going almost to death, but then returning to Krishna's grace and rejoining them in San Francisco, yet being unable to stay with them as before. And now his plans of going to India may be forever. These activities intensified their concern and love for him. Devotees worried, speculating on whether they could carry on without Swamiji. One devotee suggested that perhaps one of the Swamiji's god brothers should come to America and fill in for Swamiji, and if the worst happened, take over the leadership of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. When the suggestion reached Swamiji, he considered it without immediately replying. Mukunda, I was sitting alone with Swamiji in his room, and he was very grave and silent. His eyes were closed. Then suddenly tears began flowing from his eyes, and he said in a choked voice, my spiritual. Mataji, please scroll down. Then he paused. A master was no ordinary spiritual master. Then he paused for some time and wiping the tears from his cheeks, he said in an even more choked voice, he saved me. At that point, I began to understand the meaning of spiritual masters and dropped all consideration of Eve replacing Swamiji. After 2 days, Swamiji said he would not call any of his god brothers to come to take care of his disciples. If this person speaks just one word different from what I am speaking, there will be a great conclusion among us, among you. Actually, he said, the idea was an insult to the spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Salvan, Tukar.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Sharmila Mataji, you can continue Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Swamiji told Kirtanananda he had definitely decided to go to India via New York as soon as possible. Kirtanananda packed Swamiji's things and drove him down to San Francisco to spend the night at the temple. They would leave the next morning. The temple and even Swamiji's apartment were very hectic that night, with many devotees and guests wanting to see Swamiji and dozens of people wanting initiation. When Kirtanananda advised Swamiji not to exert himself by going down for the evening program, he insisted on at least going and sitting during the Kirtana. When he entered the storefront, the devotees immediately stopped their Kirtana, dropping down to offer obeisances. There was a hush. He commanded a new reverence. This might be the last time they would see him. They watched him during the Kirtana as he played his kartalas, singing with them for the last time. The uninitiated wanted to accept him as their spiritual master tonight, before it was too late. Swamiji asked for the microphone. No one had expected him to speak. Kirtanananda, the only person in a position to restrain him, said nothing and sat before him like the others, submissive and expectant. Swamiji spoke quietly about his mission. Under the order of his spiritual master, he was bringing Lord Chaitanya's movement to America. And Krishna had kindly sent him so many sincere souls. I have a few children in India from my family days, he said, but you are my real children. Now I'm going to India for a little while. I am an old man, he said. I may die at any moment, but please, you all carry on this Sankirtana movement. You have to become humble and tolerant. Lord Chaitanya says, be as humble as a blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree. You must have enthusiasm and patience to push on this Krishna conscious philosophy. He sat still and continued speaking to them gravely. asking them to stick together and push on the movement for their own benefit and for others. Whatever they had learned, he said, they should repeat. They realized, perhaps for the first time, that they were part of a preaching mission, a movement. They were together not just for good times and good vibrations. They had a loving obligation to Swamiji and Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sharmila Mataji. Hare Krishna. Lord Prams. Vanaja Mataji, you can continue, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna to everyone. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In New York, the devotees didn't have much time for sadness. Kirtananda telegraphed Sri Krishna Pandit that Bhaktivedanta Swami's arrival in Delhi would be on July 24th at 7:30 a.m. and that Sri Krishna Pandit should prepare the Swami's quarters at the Chippivada temple. The telegram mentioned Swami's intention to consult a physician in Delhi and then go to Vrindavana. He was anxious to return to Vrindavana. The devotees had been asking Sat Swarupa to transfer his civil service job to Boston and open a Krishna conscious center there. They had also asked Rupanuga to go do the same in Buffalo. When Satswarupa and Rupanuga approached Swamiji to find out what he wanted, he became very pleased. Sri Subala was going to open a center in Santa Fe, he said, and Dayananda was going to Los Angeles. Hare Krishna mantra is like a big cannon, he told them. Go and sound this cannon so everyone can hear it and it will drive away Maya. The devotees wanted to ask, but what if you don't return? They were fearful. What if Krishna kept Swamiji in Vrindavana? What if Swamiji never returned? How could they survive against Maya? But Swamiji had already assured them that whatever Krishna consciousness he had given to them would be enough even if he never returned. Just 30 minutes before he had to leave for the airport, Swamiji sat in his room chanting on the beads of a girl who had asked to be initiated. Then, as he had done many times before, he left his apartment, went downstairs, crossed the courtyard, and entered the storefront. Sitting on the old carpet, he spoke quietly and personally. I am going, but my Guru Maharaj and Bhakti Vinoda are here. He looked toward the paintings of his spiritual master and Bhakti Vinoda Thakura. I have asked them to kindly take care of all of you, my spiritual children. The grandfather always takes care of the children much better than the father. So do not fear. There is no question of separation. The sound vibration fixes us up together even though the material body may not be there. What do we care for this material body? Just go on chanting Hare Krishna and we will be packed up together. You will be chanting here and I will be chanting there, and this vibration will circulate around this planet. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Lakshmi Mataji can continue, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Several devotees wrote the Swamiji. Several Several devotees rode with Swamiji in the taxi, Brahmananda in the front with the driver, Raya Rama and Kirtanananda in the back beside their spiritual master. When Kirtanananda sees Vrindavana, Swamiji said, he will not be able to understand how I could have left that place and come to this place. It is so nice. There are no motor cars there like here, rushing whoosh, whoosh and smelling. Only there in Hare Krishna, everybody always chanting. Thousands and thousands of temples. I will show you Kirtanananda. We will walk all about there and I will show you. Brahmananda began to cry and Swamiji patted him on the back. I can understand that you are feeling separation, he said. I am feeling for my Guru Maharaja. I think this is what Krishna desires. You may be coming there to me and be training up, and we will spread this movement all over the world. Raya Rama, you will go to England. Ramananda, you want to go to Japan or Russia. That's all right. The devotees converged on the Air India waiting room near a crowded cocktail lounge. Wearing a sweater, his chadar folded neatly over one shoulder, Swamiji sat in a chair, while his disciples sat as closely as possible around his feet. He held an umbrella just as when he had first come alone to New York almost 2 years ago. Although exhausted, he was smiling. Swamiji noted a mural of Indian women carrying large jars on their heads, and he called the name of a young girl who had recently gone with her husband, Hamsaduta, to join ISKCON Center in Montreal. Himavati, would you like to go to India and learn to carry this water pot like the Indian women? Shall I continue, Mataji, or?
Yes, Mataji, you can continue one more paragraph.
Yes, she said, I will go. Yes, Swamiji said, someday we will all go. Kirtanananda was carrying a portable battery operated phonograph and 2 copies of the Hare Krishna mantra record. Kirtanananda, Swamiji asked, why not play the record? They will enjoy. Kirtanananda played the record very softly, its sound catching the attention of people in the cocktail lounge. Make it a little louder, Swamiji asked, and Kirtanananda increased the volume while Swamiji nodded his head, keeping time. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranams. Who would like to read next?
Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, raise your hands as well so that I can allow you going forward. Okay, Prabhuji, go ahead, Prabhuji.
Soon the devotees began humming along with the record and then quietly singing until gradually they were singing loudly. Some of the devotees began to cry. When the time came to board the plane, Swamiji embraced each of his men. They stood in a line, and one after another approached him, and embraced him. He patted a few of the women on the head. Accompanied by Kirtananda, those who said was shaven and who wore an incongruous black woolen suit, Swamiji walked slowly towards the gate. As he disappeared from view, the devotees ran for the observation deck to get a last look at his departing plane. A gentle rain was washing the airfield as the devotees raced across the wet observation deck. There below were Swamiji and Kirtananda walking towards their plane. Abandoning decorum, the devotees began to shout. Swamiji turned and waved. He climbed the movable stairway, turning again at the top and raising his arms, and then entered the plane. The devotees chanted wildly while the boarding steps moved away. The door closed and the plane began to turn. The devotees are pressed close to the rail, but they pulled back as the jet exhaust blasted them with the heat. With a great roar, the air India jet lights blinking taxied out to the runway. The devotees continued to chant Hare Krishna until the plane left the ground, became a speck in the sky, and then disappeared. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. Very nice. Anyone else would like to read? We'll do one more page.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Pushpa Mataji. You can read Mataji. Mataji, you can also raise your hands. There's an option if you don't find, there is a hand option, right? You raise that, then
Yes,
I will
Mataji.
know you're interested. Yeah.
Uh, New Delhi, July 25th, 1967. The wall of heat that greeted them felt good to Swamiji. He had came for this. Inside the airport terminal, overhead fence stirred the muggy air as Swamiji and Kirtananand stood in slow-moving lines, while uniformed clerks checked passport and custom forms without Western-style computers or efficiency. Just beyond the area for immigration and custom, people waited for the Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
What happened, Mataji?
Oh, Mataji, my child had got up. So, Mataji, sorry for this disturbance.
No problem, Mataji. Okay, I will continue then. Hare Krishna. Probably I'll start from the beginning. New Delhi, July 25th, 1967. The wall of heat that greeted them felt good to Swamiji. He had come for this. Inside the airport terminal, overhead fans stirred the muggy air as Swamiji and Kirtananda stood in slow moving lines while uniformed clerks checked passports and customs forms without Western style computers or efficiency. Just beyond the areas for immigration and customs, people waiting for arriving passengers were waving, calling, and coming together with friends and family members. After Swamiji and Kirtananda claimed their luggage and cleared customs, they stood on the sidewalk outside the terminal. Although Swamiji had removed his sweater, Kirtananda stood sweltering in his black wool suit. It was 2 a.m. All around, passengers were meeting loved ones who embraced them, sometimes even garlanded them, and helped them into cars or taxis. But no one was there for Swamiji. It was certainly different from the recent tearful airport scenes where Swamiji had been with his loved ones. Now, instead of being surrounded by loving disciples, he was besieged by taxi drivers and porters wanting to carry his luggage for a fee. In Hindi, Swamiji asked one of the drivers to take them to Chippivada in Old Delhi. The driver put their luggage in the trunk, and Swamiji and his disciple climbed into the back seat. The small ambassador taxi drove through streets well known to Swamiji. Nighttime traffic was light, an occasional taxi of motor rickshaw. Mostly the streets were empty and quiet, the shops closed, an occasional person or cow sleeping outdoors. Just a few years before, Bhaktivedanta Swami had sold back to Godhead magazines, solicited donations, and printed a Srimad Bhagavatam here. In those days, he had been alone, practically without money or residence. Yet he had been happy, completely dependent on Krishna. But India's leaders were rejecting Vedic culture and imitating the West. Although some Indians still professed to follow Vedic culture, mostly they were victims of hodgepodge teachers who didn't accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Bhaktivedanta Swami had felt obliged to leave to go and transplant the Vedic culture in the West. He had held strictly to the vision of his predecessor, spiritual master, and he had been proven right. The West was a very good field for Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. All right, we'll conclude with this for today. We will continue tomorrow onwards. So thank you everyone for joining. Requesting all to please join by 8:55 p.m. tomorrow also, so that we can start on time and close by 9:50. Thank you all, and please read. And I would request you all to please go through or listen to the recording at least once before you come in for the class, so that you can share your whatever points you remember. You can share your thoughts. You can share whatever you are able to recollect. You can then you will be able to actively participate and respond in the class. So just a small request. So with that, we will continue tomorrow. Thank you everyone for joining in. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Pranams.
Thank you, Mataji.